All right, so have you noticed, like, everywhere you look these days, it's crypto this and blockchain that.
It's inescapable.
Seriously. And I gotta admit, sometimes I feel like I need a whole dictionary just to understand what people are even talking about.
Right.
So for this deep dive, we're going back to basics. We're breaking down a super beginner-friendly podcast episode that we found.
Yeah, let's demystify this whole crypto thing.
Exactly. Because honestly, who has time for all that jargon, right? We just want the plain and simple truth about what crypto is, how it works, and why we should even care.
And I think you'll be surprised by what we uncover.
Oh, I'm ready to be surprised. So the podcast started off with a very simple definition of cryptocurrency. They called it digital or virtual money, which, okay, I get it, it exists online. But then they said it's secured by cryptography.
Cryptography, now we're getting into the techie stuff.
Right. And then they hit us with this idea that it's money you can't hold. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, can money even exist if you can't put it in your wallet?
That's actually a really good question, and it gets to the heart of what makes cryptocurrencies so different from traditional money.
Okay, so enlighten me. How can something be money if I can't crumple it up in my hand?
Well, it's all about decentralization.
Decentralization.
Yeah, basically it means that instead of relying on those big, scary banks or governments to control our money.
You mean like with all those annoying fees and rules?
Exactly. Cryptocurrency aims to create a system where transactions can happen directly between individuals.
Person to person.
Exactly.
Hmm.
All facilitated by technology. It cuts out those middlemen and gives you more control over your own money.
Okay, so less about those pesky banked fees I'm always complaining about, and more about taking power into your own hands.
Precisely. And the first cryptocurrency to really put this idea into practice was Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. See, that one I've heard of.
Of course, Bitcoin. It's like the granddaddy of cryptocurrencies. But here's the thing. Bitcoin kind of opened the floodgates. And now there are thousands, literally thousands of other cryptocurrencies out there, each with their own unique features and potential applications. It's a whole ecosystem.
Thousands. Okay, now I understand why people get overwhelmed. But before we get lost in the world of altcoins, which, by the way, is a whole other conversation.
Oh yeah, we could do a deep dive just on altcoins.
Seriously. But first, we've got to tackle another term that the podcast mentioned that I'm sure we've all heard, but maybe don't fully understand. Blockchain. And honestly, sometimes when I hear that word, my brain just pictures literal blocks chained together.
It's definitely one of those tech terms that sounds way more complicated than it actually is.
So break it down for me. What are we really talking about when we say blockchain?
Okay, so imagine a digital ledger, like a record book, but instead of being kept in one place, it's duplicated and distributed across a vast network of computers.
So it's like everywhere and nowhere at the same time.
Kind of, and that's what makes it so secure.
Okay, I'm with you so far. But why is this digital ledger such a big deal? What makes it different from any other online database?
Two words: transparency and security.
Oh, I like the sound of that already.
So with a blockchain, because it's publicly accessible, anyone can view the transaction history.
Wait a minute. Anyone, so like if I bought a coffee this morning with crypto, everyone would know.
Not exactly. It's important to remember that this transparency applies to the transaction itself, not to your personal information.
Okay, so it's not like everyone knows I have a serious caffeine addiction.
Your secret's safe with us.
Yeah.
But think about the implications for things like, say, government spending or tracking donations to charity.
Oh, so it's like a public record that's basically impossible to tamper with.
You got it. That's
Yeah.
the beauty of blockchain. Once a transaction is added to the chain, it's practically impossible to alter. Like you try to quietly erase something that's written in permanent marker, good luck with that.
Okay, that makes sense. It's like a permanent record. But let's say I'm convinced I'm sold on this whole blockchain thing, and I want to get started with cryptocurrency. What do I do? How do I actually get my hands on some?
Well, according to the podcast, the first step is setting up what they call a crypto wallet.
A crypto wallet, so like a real wallet, but digital.
Kind of. It's basically a digital bank account,
Well,
but specifically designed to hold your cryptocurrency.
okay, I think I'm following. But then they also mentioned different types of wallets, like hot wallets and cold wallets. It's like they knew I was going to ask, wait, there's more.
Right. The world of crypto loves its options.
So hot wallet versus cold wallet, what's the difference?
It's all about finding that balance between convenience and security, just like with your traditional finances, really.
All right, so walk me through this. What makes a hot wallet hot?
A hot wallet is connected to the internet, so it's always online, ready to go. Think of it like having your debit card linked to Apple Pay. or Google Wallet.
Oh, so it's like always there, ready for those impulse buys.
Exactly. Super convenient for everyday transactions. But just like in real life, you're careful about who you hand your physical wallet to, right? Same goes for your hot wallet.
Got it. So what about cold wallets? Are they like digital ice boxes for your crypto?
You could say that. A cold wallet is a physical device. It's usually something that looks like a USB drive, and it stores your cryptocurrency offline. So it's a lot more secure because it's not connected to the internet, but it's not as readily accessible.
Got it. So if I need to make a quick transaction, cold wallet is not the way to go.
Probably not. But if you're the type of person who likes to, set it and forget it, a cold wallet can offer a lot more peace of mind.
Okay, that makes sense. So it really depends on your risk tolerance.
Exactly. The type of wallet you choose really depends on your individual needs, your risk tolerance, and how you plan to use your crypto.
So let's say I've got my wallet set up. I'm feeling good. How do I actually acquire some of this digital gold? How do I get some crypto?
Well, it's not quite as simple as walking in your bank and saying, hey, can I get $100 worth of Bitcoin?
Although that would be pretty cool.
Right. But the podcast did mention several platforms that are designed to make buying and selling cryptocurrency much more accessible. And they specifically called out Coinbase and Binance.
Coinbase, Binance, I've heard of those. So these are kind of like the bridge between the traditional financial world and the crypto sphere.
Exactly. Think of them as one-stop shops where you can create a wallet, you can browse all the different cryptocurrencies, you can even track market trends.
Okay, that sounds super user-friendly.
That's the goal.
All right, so I've got my crypto. I'm feeling like a tech-savvy investor, right? But now what? Like, what do I do with it? Besides the whole buy a Lamborghini thing.
Ah, yes, the Lambo dreams.
Which, let's face it, at this point, it's more of a meme than a financial plan.
Totally. But you're right, there's actually a surprising number of uses for cryptocurrency beyond just investment.
Okay, so enlighten me. What else can you do with crypto?
Well, did you know that some online retailers are actually starting to accept cryptocurrency as payment?
Wait, seriously? Like, I could buy something online with Bitcoin.
You absolutely could. It's not as common as using a credit card just yet, but more and more businesses are starting to come around, especially in the tech and gaming industries.
Wow, that's pretty cool. It feels like we're really on the verge of a whole new era of how we think about spending and money.
It does feel that way.
What else?
Another interesting use is for charitable giving.
Really?
Yeah, crypto can make donations more transparent and more direct
How so?
because every transaction is recorded on the blockchain. It creates this record of where that money's going.
Oh, that's a really good point. So there's more transparency and accountability there.
Exactly. It could be a game changer for donors and organizations.
That makes a lot of sense. No more wondering if your money's actually making a difference.
Exactly. So we've got online shopping, we've got donations, but then the podcast also touched on something called DeFi. Yeah, it stands for decentralized finance.
Decentralized finance. Okay.
And this one, it's a little bit more complex.
That tracks.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the more complex, rapidly evolving areas in the crypto world.
So like next level crypto.
You could say that. But the potential here, it's massive. Basically, imagine a financial system that operates completely outside of those traditional institutions.
Like no more banks.
Well, less power to the big banks, at least.
Yeah.
But it uses blockchain technology to facilitate everything. We're talking lending, borrowing, insurance, even creating synthetic assets.
Okay, hold on a second. I need to catch up. So with DeFi, instead of going to a bank to get a loan, I could potentially borrow directly from someone else.
Exactly. That's one example of what DeFi can do.
And all those terms and conditions would be like written out on the blockchain for everyone to see.
Exactly. That's the idea behind smart contracts. It's essentially taking that middleman out of financial transactions, which can potentially lead to more transparency, lower fees, and greater accessibility.
Okay, see, this is why I love these deep dives, because it really makes you think about the future in a different way.
It's exciting stuff, isn't it?
It is exciting, but let's be real. With all this talk of innovation and disruption, it's easy to get caught up in the hype.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think that's why it's so important to talk about the potential downsides, the risks, just being realistic. And the podcast that we're breaking down, they wrapped up with some cautionary tales, some common beginner mistakes. What were some of the red flags that they highlighted?
Well, I think the biggest one, and they really hammer this home, is this get-rich-quick mentality.
Yeah.
It's everywhere in the crypto space. And it's understandable, right? You see those headlines about Bitcoin going through the roof, and you're like, sign me up.
Totally. Everyone wants to be a crypto millionaire.
Exactly. But it's crucial to remember that this market, it's incredibly volatile.
Yeah, for every story about someone buying a mansion with Bitcoin, there's another one about someone losing their life savings.
Right. And the truth is, most people, they aren't going to get rich quick with crypto. It's not about getting lucky. It's about understanding the technology, doing your research, and never, ever investing more than you can afford to lose.
So basically, don't bet the farm on a meme coin that you saw trending on Twitter.
Sound advice. The other thing they stressed, which we kind of touched on earlier, is security.
Right, those crypto wallets, like how secure are they really?
Well, that's the thing. They're only as secure as you make them.
Oh, good point.
We talked about how they're like digital bank accounts. And just like with your real bank account, you wouldn't leave your password out in the open, would you?
Definitely not. I've seen enough cybersecurity documentaries to know better than that.
Right.
Yeah.
So same rules apply in the crypto world, if not more so. Use strong, unique passwords. Enable two-factor authentication if you can. And whatever you do, don't lose your recovery phrase.
Oh, tell me you have a story about that.
Let's just say I've heard some real horror stories. But the podcast made a good point. Losing your crypto wallet password is basically like throwing away cash. It's gone.
Okay, you officially scared me into being a responsible crypto citizen.
Good.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, as exciting as all this technology is, it's crucial to approach it with a healthy dose of caution.
Well said. This has been an amazing crash course, I have to say. I feel like I went from knowing almost nothing about crypto to actually being able to have a conversation about it.
And that's the first step, right?
Totally, because whether you're ready to dive headfirst into the world of crypto or you just want to be more informed, it's good to have that basic understanding.
Absolutely. And it all circles back to that idea we talked about earlier, decentralization. It's not just about money, it's about shifting power, giving people more control.
Yeah. So it seems like the big question isn't so much if cryptocurrency and blockchain technology are here to stay, but how they'll shape the future.
Exactly. How will they change the way we think about money, about power, about trust? That's something for all of us to consider.
Big questions.
Big questions.
Well, on that note, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the wild world of cryptocurrency. Until next time.